All right, just setting up the stream. Give me a minute here. We are going to be doing a paper card here in a sec. Move some stuff around here. Okay. Alrighty. Ooh, I've got to edit these links. Hang on a second. So while I'm setting this up, I'll kind of explain what's going on. I have a friend whose birthday, who I happen to forget. I'm apparently a very bad friend. And I am going to make a quick pop-up birthday card for him on the Glowforge with cardstock. So my wife ran out to get some cardstock. She was going to go get groceries and said she'd stop and grab me some. So I'm going to get the design done, and then I'll start doing some tests, and we'll see if it works. Okay. All right, I'm almost ready to get streaming here in a second. Sorry, I just have to update all the groups because it still says Christmas presents. Um, okay, sorry everybody for all of you who are watching. Give me just a second here. Let's see. All right. Come on. All right, I think I'm got everything up and running. Hopefully everyone will be able to see and comment. Um, so hello to anybody who's watching. I have no idea how many people are watching, but welcome to the stream. And let's see, move this over here so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock. I have to meet my friend at 6 o'clock, and I forgot his birthday. We were out of town, and so he invited us, and we couldn't go, and I forgot to give it to him. So thankfully, that was only like a month ago. I know it sounds bad, but it was only a month ago. So I did some quick internet searching, and I found this pop-up card on Google. The author gave it away for free. I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, a second here. I'll show you what it looks like when it's actually put together. Where did it go? Here we go. So it looks like this when it's put together. It's literally just a black piece of cardstock on the back and a white piece of cardstock on the front with some cutting. So I've got to modify the file because it's designed to be cut out with scissors or with like an X-Acto knife. So I'm going to quickly run through that. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to check them as I'm doing this. So this is what I'm working on right now, last minute. I've got to figure out what I'm going to write. I'm usually terrible at writing these things, so that's going to be the next piece of this as well. So any kind of like suggestions on that side would be great. So let's get this going. So this is the file. As you can see, this is the link to his blog. There's 100 or so of these cards on his blog, and they're all for free, which is amazing. So you should go check out his blog. I'll leave that up for as part of it. So actually, let me type that out so I can leave it up and as I'm kind of editing this. Um, uh, there we go. So I'll just leave that up, and you guys can go visit the site and see if you can find something cool, and then you can follow the steps that I'm doing here to do this. Originally, I was going to do this like dragon boat kind of thing, but I decided it was a little too cheesy and as a birthday present. So this I think is a little more his style. So it's a Darth Vader, as you can tell, Star Wars themed. And so let's get this going. So doing these things in Illustrator is really easy. It's just there's a few gotchas. There's an image trace function you can do in Illustrator here. So you click on the image that you've loaded in, click on Make and Expand, and it will sometimes do that. That's not good. And so I have to modify this file. I was not expecting that. All right, so let's see, how do I want to modify this? It's easier if I do it in Photoshop. So let me pop up in Photoshop here. All right, there we go. We got Photoshop up. That was something I was looking at before. I don't need that anymore. All right, open meter pop-up. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to grayscale. The second thing I'm going to do is do adjustments to the levels, and what I want to do is make those lines darker. So And it's been a while since I've done this, so forgive me if it takes me a minute. Let's see. What I want to do is get rid of that background color as well. So there we go. Yeah, that kind of like darker, like this looks like a picture or a scan that someone did. So like they printed it and scanned it or something. I'm not sure why, but you want to try and get rid of those background colors. And all I've done is gone into the levels and I've moved the dark level up to make these lines darker, so blacks are blacker. And then I've moved the white down so I get rid of the background color. So let's save this real quick and see if this, is this on my screen or is this just dirt? My screen's all dirty. Hang on a second. Let me wipe it down. I can't tell if it's dirt or if it's on the image or on my screen. Oh, I think that's part of the file. Yeah, I think that's part of the file. It's like these spots right here. Let's see. Let's see if that's. Yeah, see, that's actually just part of the file. So whoever did this did a little sloppy, unfortunately. That's why I said kind of random, random spot. Oops, what am I doing? So let me just clean up some of these spots. I'm just using the eraser tool here real quick. Now I'm sure there's a better way of doing it than I'm doing it, but I'm completely self-taught, so I don't quite have all the background. So sometimes I do things the hard way. So if anybody has better ways of doing this, please let me know. Let's see. All right, that looks good. And then since I've already put its thing on the other side, let me erase this because I don't want it to be on the. Here, I'm gonna make this bigger. And so I've retyped this in Illustrator so people will be able to see it, but I just don't want it on the card when I'm printing it. So it'll be back. All right, let's try this again. All right, we saved it as V1. Close this one. Open. All right, let's try doing that again. So we're going to click on the file. We're going to go to image trace, make and expand. And then we're going to pull off. Oh, yeah. Going to pull off. Okay, that didn't work as expected. All right, well, let's just ungroup this. Yeah, okay, so that's just a single layer. Sometimes when I do image trace, it actually does multiple layers. I've never understood why it does that. But if you can just drag it off. So like this dragon boat one had multiple layers. And so I had to go in and like drag individual layers off because there was duplicates. Okay, so what we're gonna want to do is change some of this. I might just try cutting it as is and see, because these little dots are, this dotted line is where you're supposed to like fold it. So I'm gonna try that. I'll try that real quick. So hang on just a second. Let me get the Glowforge up and running, and we'll try this first cut here real quick. So let's switch to the Glowforge view. All right, so I've got 110-pound cardstock here. It's 199 GSM for people using real measurements, because going by pounds is weird when you're doing with paper, because it doesn't always cut the same way. Like different 110-pound cardstock will cut differently. So this paper is a little bit, it doesn't seem to want to lay flat completely, so I'm going to pin it down here real quick with some pins. And these are the honeycomb pins. You can find these on the Glowforge forum. They're free, and they're great for holding stuff down. And you just use scraps to make it, so it doesn't really cost you anything. Oh, and of course you guys can't see because it was out of focus, but that's the if right now. Okay. Please focus. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So let's save this. I'll make a new folder. We're going to call it Vader pop-up card. And so you'll notice I save it as an Illustrator file, but I also then go back and save it as a PDF. I use PDFs in the Glowforge system rather than SVGs just because I've had better luck. It was an old bug. I don't think it's around anymore, but they've kind of just have that habit now. So let's try this first cut here real quick and see how it goes. Oh, this was another project I was working on. All right, upload. One of the tricks you can do when you're in the Glowforge UI is you can say to sort it by date, and then the last file that you have uploaded will always be in the top left. So even if it's a folder or whatever, it's nice. Oh, so it's trying to do an engrave and a cut. Oh yeah, because I didn't change the colors. Yes, of course, I'm dumb. All right, let me fix that real quick. It wants to be grayscale. Interesting. Oh, we're gonna override that. So I typically use RGB as my setting. You're gonna want to make sure that when you're doing this, you change the stroke width. It just makes it easier to deal with. So change it down to the lowest one. And then some of these cuts are a little worrisome. That's really close together. Okay, well we're gonna try this, and then I'm probably gonna have to modify the file a bit because some of these engraves are really close together. So let's give this a shot. 2. Always version your files. It's really important because you may not think you need it now, but come back to a project 6 months later because someone wants, you're like, oh, I made a card for that. It's a pain in the butt to remember everything. So I always take notes in a note program and then do this. So I don't need Photoshop anymore. All right, so let's go back to this. Now, because there was 2 versions last time, it still makes me think that there might be a hidden layer underneath this. So we'll give this a shot. It's really small. I think I should make this bigger. Because right now it's about, what is that, 6 1/4 inches tall, the whole card. So I wonder if I make this a little bigger. I don't know. What do you guys think? It should be bigger. No problem, Chris. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Well, let's try cutting it first, and then we can adjust the size after we see what it looks like. I'm actually contemplating like making it more of like a larger size, just because I think it'll look better, and I think the face features will look better if they're larger. So let's give this a shot. Oh, I forgot to set it to the wrong thing. All right, hang on a sec. Let me cancel this. Doing too many things at a time. All right. Paper is let's see, calipers, point millimeters. 0.008. So we're going to change this to cardstock, and it's 0.008 for this one. So I'm using 500 by 90, which cuts really good. I don't get a lot of smoke stains or anything like that. What am I doing here? I guess it auto focused it, so I don't have to worry about setting the specific height. But I mean, I have it in the cut anyways. So. And I apologize, the focus is going out on the Glowforge. There you go. All right, so let's give this a shot. And then if we like it, we'll go back in, add text, adjust the height and width, etc., and go from there. So let me stand up. I always like to keep an eye on the Glowforge when I'm cutting paper, just because it has a tendency to it can flare, so it can burn. Oh, yep, I'm gonna have to adjust this. Yep, never mind. I have to adjust this. It cut the outer line first. My head's not all the way in this today, so forgive the errors. It's kind of a comedy of errors right now. Let's see. Another piece of paper. So you'll see I have a piece of paper on the back. What that does is it shields from smoke, or not from smoke, but from reflections from the laser. So you don't get, when you're doing a card, it looks really nice. All right, let's try this again. Modify the file real quick. All right, so we're going to change. Hang on just a sec, my wife's calling me. All right, give me just a sec. My wife's calling. I think she did some with the groceries. So I'll be right back. What a day. There we go. My wife brought me paper. All right, let's fix this up. She brought me black cardstock that I needed from a company called Paper Source. Super expensive because I guess they're like a specialty shop. And I just needed regular black cardstock, and Staples only had like 250 sheet packs, which I really didn't need that much. So, all right, so let's fix this real quick. I'm gonna change the colors on this. Actually, let me change the file color mode. RGB, RGB. Okay. Everything right now is going to be 255, and then group this. Oh, that might be a compound path. Nope, it's just grouped. Okay. You ever get this where something won't ungroup? It's actually a compound path. So if you hold down Control Shift Alt 8, again that's Control Shift Alt 8, it will ungroup the path. So you can click on it individually. So you see how like now I can actually click on this one item individually, and I am actually seeing, yes, there is multiple paths. That's what I was worried about. Okay, so let's do this. I'll get rid of this path. Yeah, there's like this extra box here. Always going to be a problem. So I've got to go through these individual things. All right, so that's there. Box needs to go away. Why would they do that? Maybe they wanted space in between. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, these are actually like square paths, or like connected paths. Yeah, you see how there's like a duplicate there? Oh, I'm gonna have to go through this whole file here real quick and get rid of the duplicates. So what was going to be fast shall take a little bit longer. Supposed to be. Okay. Oh wait, if this is, how is this even there if it's around? If this is a full cutout, I just need to cut this and see how it looks. Because yeah, there's duplicates, but let's see. This is one of the problems with finding files, because when someone makes it for when you just cut it out, you print it and cut it out. It doesn't matter if there's an overlapping file because or overlapping path because it's just gonna print. It's gonna print. There's 1 or 50 paths. It doesn't really matter. So bottom part's done. All there. That's not good. Mm. All right, let's try printing this real quick. I think I've gotten a lot of the duplicates off. Um, We'll see how this does. Yeah, it seems to have a duplicate. The path diverges. So let's try this out real quick. Oh. Sorry, one of the Facebook groups had an error on the video. Let me restart it here real quick. Let's go. Huh. Wow, I think I got banned from the Glowforge user group. Wow. The Glowforge user group banned me. uh, I don't know why. I was just streaming. There's no... Yeah, no idea why. Alright, I'll have to fight that fight later. I have no idea why I just got banned. But, okay, that's interesting. Alright, so let's try this again. E3. Weird, it's like Facebook's having a problem. It keeps like dropping my my stream. Maybe so I'm just streaming to too many things.